That's funny because I think everyone here is going to have maybe similar. I might be the most different one in views of friendship, probably because I have like levels. I just don't have two levels. There's not acquaintances and just friends. Like
You're like an onion.
no, I'm not an onion.
You're definitely a scrunion. You just said you have many layers. There's levels.
Multiples.
Every layer of an onion you could consider a level.
A level.
And since
Yeah,
you're
but an
like
onion
an
has,
onion, we'll just call you a scrunion.
Wow.
Some people would call Tony the Shrek of this podcast.
Yeah.
Well, all the viewers can guess who's not in that list for me. But yeah, what separates true friends from acquaintances? Like, I know everybody has levels and different views on it, but I'll start off with Doe, since, his weekend was great.
Yo, friends and acquaintances. I think these things are important that you draw these lines. You got to draw them right at the, you can just draw them whatever you want. But I take pride in my friends, and I take pride in introducing people to my friends. So like you can't just introduce everybody to your group of friends, and you're like here, and then they're like, no, we don't want him. We don't want that person in our group and stuff like that. But I think it's important that you divide your friends from your acquaintances too, because like there's a level of trust there. Not a lot of people. I meet a lot of people at work, and I meet a lot of people around where I work, and like those people are my acquaintances. Now there's certain people at work, just like in the bar scene, you just get it. You're like, all right, I got your back, you got my back. We're kind of just in this together. You kind of have those people at work sometimes where you're like, I could trust him. But there's not a lot of people you could trust. And I think I gotta stop saying
Is that what you think?
It is what I think, and I'll pass it off to somebody else now.
But hold on. Let's. Because you're saying friends and acquaintances. What's the difference between the two for you?
Also, I wanted to just cut in real quick. I feel like you've updated your views, and that's kind of good. I felt like in the past, Doughy wanted every single one of his friends to be friends with all. Like, he wanted to amass the greatest coalition of a friend group. And that shit was weird. It was like a big melting pot of of worlds that you didn't even think would ever collide. Doughy made them collide, for better or for worse. I hung out and met a lot of cool people that way. I also had a lot of awkward situations that way. So,
This is the path to Doughy creating that birthday party where he's in the middle dancing, and it's just all kinds of people surrounding him saying, "Go Doughy."
It's your birthday. Go Doughy.
Shit is terrible.
It's here. All right. One day it'll happen.
No, I mean, some would say, because you guys believe in magic, right? Like, you're a wizard in a sense. You've spoken the words. Words are powerful.
Yeah.
Just by you speaking them, it's gonna happen, guaranteed.
I hope so. My birthday's
we're gonna at some point you'll have a birthday party, and if we're all together, we'll make it happen.
Are you not true friends if you don't remember each other's birthdays? Because I don't remember Doe's birthday. Is it in September?
It's in soon, September 20th.
I'm terrible at birthdays.
Send me gifts, guys.
I would not be sending you a gift.
Are you talking to us or the audience?
Anybody who wants to send me a gift and send me a gift.
I ain't sending
I'm gonna make one of those.
gifts.
I'm gonna make one of those Amazons that you can send me stuff, and then somebody can send me sunflowers if I want.
Just
if
like
you
sunflower
want or
seeds or an
they
actual
want?
sunflower?
Yeah, I want sunflowers.
I ain't sending you shit.
Come on.
So what separates a true friend from an acquaintance?
So what's
So
the
your
difference?
question is, does knowing a friend's birthday make a difference in the level of friendship you have? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I was saying, is that one of the things? Although
No.
Doughy still needs to answer the other question I asked him because I want to know his
Wait.
difference.
I'll answer both right now. For birthdays, no, because the way I grew up, I don't remember anybody's birthday. That shit is
Because you didn't celebrate birthdays, right?
Yeah.
What was
So-
the other question?
What was the other one?
what's the difference between the friends and acquaintances? Like, what's the difference for you? What makes an acquaintance and what makes a friend, like your true friend or your homeboy?
The level of trust. Like, I think every day when you get up, you put on this uniform of who you are, and the more you can reveal to people, I think that like can determine whether you trust them or not, and whether they are in your circle of friends. You know what I mean? Because it's hard to take off that the thing you put on every morning. This person that you are.
That's funny because I think everyone here is going to have maybe similar. I might be the most different one in views of friendship, probably because I have like levels. I just don't have two levels. There's not acquaintances and just friends. Like,
You're like an onion.
no, I'm not an onion.
You're definitely a scrunnion. You just said you have many layers. There's levels.
Multiples.
Every layer of an onion you could consider a level.
I love
Some-
And since
Yeah,
you're
but an
like
onion
an
has,
onion, we'll
like-
just call you a scrunnion.
Wow.
Some people would call Tony the Shrek of this podcast.
Yeah.
Well, all the viewers can guess who's not in that list for me.
Donkey.
Anyways, Mateo, what about you? What separates the two?
What separates the two? That's complicated, right? Can people move between acquaintances and friendship?
Yeah, of course,
is that
over
the
time.
natural path?
Of course.
Or are friends someone that you click with immediately? Because most of my people that I consider friends, there was immediately a click. Most of them didn't move from acquaintance to friend. I've had a few coworkers move to that friend level, because like coworker friends are different than friends, right?
Yes.
There's like a barrier that has to be crossed there.
Yeah, I'm not even going to say nothing. I was going to bring up, but I'm not going to because that's a weird capucho. But either way, when you bring
I'm sorry,
coworkers,
what?
I was going to bring up something, but we're just going
I
to dead
see.
it. Yeah. So if, like, for you, for example, you're saying friends, like, I'm saying like true friends, like people you would call your brother, right? Like, those are friends. That's what you're considering a friend. And then acquaintances are just people.
I mean, we all have levels, right? Like there's like your best bros and like your friends and acquaintances. I think everyone's got at least those three levels. I don't think.
Can you have best acquaintances?
No.
For sure.
That's my
What?
dog.
You
That's
have
my
best
dog.
acquaintances.
At Chipotle. That's my dog. At Starbucks. That's my dog. At like McDonald's.
What are their
Like,
names?
for
Do you
example-
know all the names? You don't have to list their names. I'm just curious if you know all their names.
No, that's
I think
his dog.
importance
I think
My
step one to
dog.
being an acquaintance is you have to know the person's name. I'm just going to
Facts.
toss that out.
And
there.
that's where I come into play, boys. I always ask names and say their names so I can never forget them.
So you're saying that
Uncomfortably.
every waiter and waitress is your acquaintance because you learned their name?
Yeah.
I don't think so. But yeah, one thing I guess that I differ, well, not differ, but it's just something Mateo brought up. I don't necessarily think that a friend is someone you click with right away or anything like that. Because like, just, as an example right here, like Doughy and Tony are some of the people I talk to the most. We were not like fast friends. Like we were cool. I would say we were acquaintances until we started hanging out. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, I know Tony since 6th grade. I know Doughy so 7th or 8th grade. And it's like, I didn't start hanging out with these guys till like almost 11th grade or 10th grade. You know what I'm saying? So it was years that I seen them say what's up and all that stuff. But I would say that Doughy was one of my better acquaintances. We would laugh hysterically in class. It was always a good time. I was always happy to see him. We just weren't very like hanging out outside of
After school. Yeah, we didn't hang out
Right.
after school.
So like I do think there's levels of friendship pretty much. Even just saying friends and acquaintances is kind of strange because you're trying to put them into two buckets. I think like Doughy said, how much you can be yourself around people is I think speaks to one aspect of how friendly or how much of a friend you are with someone. But I don't think that speaks to everything because like I'm a fucking ghetto bastard, right? I have acquaintances that are also ghetto, so I could be myself around them. I could be full on ghetto pooch, and but that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm more cool with them than with other people, So I think there's I don't know. I think, like you said, I think there's levels to it. I think for me, it ultimately comes down to just like, I don't know, how much do I regard you as a friend or a person in my own mind. I'm also a fucking weirdo. I don't call people on their birthday. I don't hit people up like that on social media or anything like that. Even if we're super cool, like you could ask you could ask like Ray, people that when I see them, like I get excited, I brighten up. I'm happy as fuck when I'm around them. But I'll never hit them up outside, of that setting. You know what I'm saying? And that doesn't change on my end how I feel about them, but that does affect how people feel about me. They might feel like, damn, your pooch don't hit nobody up. And that's something that I got to work on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but also, you also don't want to be hit up on your birthday.
I hit that nigga up.
So is friendship based on the time you devote to that person, whether it's in person? Like your truer friends, do you devote more time to them? Like those are the guys you're going to go out of your way to go hit up the bar with and play video games with and do FaceTime calls with and shit like that. Is that like the true friendship? Is that the distinction there? Because I mean, I've got friends that I talk to maybe once or twice a year. Got a homeboy that moved out to Ireland, and we talk once every 6 months or so. One of my favorite people in the fucking world. But we have 2 conversations a year, basically. He sends me some of his new music. We chit chat about life a little bit, and that's the last. And then I don't hear from him for 6 months.
Yeah, I don't talk to Matt, cycling Matt. I've been talking to him more now that I've been like cycling and stuff. We both have the same app. We be liking each other's cycling event stuff. Like, but other than that, like, it's nice to be connected to him because I don't really talk to him like that, but it's always good vibes when we do talk, and it's always like that. You see the connection that like originally that brought you guys together.
What, Tony? What do you got up there?
Nah, the way it says something, and it's
Facebook for cycling, dude.
Yeah, that's weird to me. I guess I don't know.
It's the cycling app that we like each other's cycling stuff.
Yeah, it's a little weird. Cause I know Mateo's a little weirded out by knowing how many miles or whatever you do a day. It's
motivation.
Yes, facts. I see Mateo complete his workout, and I'm like, damn, did I do enough today? Was I out there like that today?
That's some ego shit. That is ego. That's the real definition of ego.
It's the track
he did 30 miles. I'm doing 32.
Mm-hmm. It's that track mania mentality that you see the scoreboard and you see your friend.
You want to outclass your friend. That's ego shit.
Yeah. I think this is some of the positive ego stuff.
No, that's positive ego. Yeah. No, you're challenging each other to do better and be better at what. Yeah, that's not always negative there, though. Not always negative. It's positive too.
Yeah, you're the one who's trying to flip it negative, but I don't know. I do think it's a little negative. I think it has a positive outcome, but I think the thought process is a little negative. Like the idea of like, oh, that guy did that thing. I want to be better than that guy, so I need to. And the reason why you need to be better than him, you have this mental calculus in your head that determines I'm actually above him in my mind, so I need to perform better than him. Because if who's the other cycling guy in New York that he's putting up crazy numbers? You see his shit, you never have the motivation to try to beat him because in your mind, he's higher than you on the food chain.
I could beat him on my electric bike.
Would you feel like you won?
No.
Yeah. Okay. Hell yeah.
That's a handicap.
I don't know. I personally think seeing
that's
each other.
That's what everybody else says, but.
Yeah, I think seeing each other's like, how much you've worked out and things like that. I think for me, seeing that kind of stuff, it motivates in the way that like I self-reflect and think, did I do enough kind of thing? But it's not coming from a place of like, I need to be better than them. Is I need to be better than me. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's the philosophy I really try to take. I'm not trying to compete against somebody else. And I used to think like that. Like I used to have that mindset of that mind frame, but it's more of trying to better myself now. But I use other people as like inspiration.
So Pooch, going back to the friends thing, do you think you can your coworker friends and your friends and then your friends like us can ever mix and they'll be fine? Would you ever want to mix the group or you think like you'd rather have it separate?
I think my preference would be for it to be separate, but I think it can mix. I mean, we've done it. Like I've hung out with my coworkers and you've been around.
Oh yeah, at
you
the
know,
bar, right?
multiple times.
Yeah.
And we went out to dinner one time. We went out drinking once or twice or whatever. Like that's cool. It's just like blending those worlds is kind of weird because it's like Doughy says, right? Every day you wake up and you put on a costume, so to speak. Like this is my work face that I'm wearing. And when you bring other people around that you don't have to wear a work face with, then they act the way that maybe you don't even find acceptable around your coworkers. You know what I'm saying? So there's times where I hang out with Tony and I'm like, yo, Tony, look, we're gonna chill with my coworkers. Like, try to not be
This man
you
loves that
to the
shit.
same extent. Like, just try to chill out a little bit. Like, don't say this, don't say that. Like, because some people are weirded out. Like, everybody ain't from the ghetto, and when they hear us talk the way we talk, they might think like we sound crazy or aggressive. And in general, I don't really care how people perceive me, but I do care about my coworkers. Like, I don't want to go to work and have people treating me different. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I think for that reason, I prefer to keep it separate. But there are times where I'm like, my coworkers invited me out for drinks and my friends are in town. I'm like, all right, fuck it. We're going to try to blend these worlds because like I still want to do this thing and I want to hang out with these people. I don't want to be in a position where I have to choose, But
So,
also to answer your thing, I guess I ask you a question, Mateo, because you said is a true friend. So depending on how much time you're willing to invest in a person, do you feel like you're a better friend with that guy that you talk once every 6 months than other people that you talk more often with, or like spend more time with? I guess.
I think it depends on the conversation too, because like, I don't know, man. I talk a lot. I talk a lot. That's what I do. And I don't mind talking about inane nonsense like my job and things like that with people, but like I really appreciate deep conversation. I like being able to make jokes. I like being able to have deep conversation about ridiculous things. Y'all have been around. You know the way my mind works. These weird topics that we talk about on the podcast, these are weird questions that I would just ask while I was hanging out with these guys in person. Like that's the way it works. So I mean, our conversation tends to be pretty deep, but it's intermittent. It's every 6 months or so. So couldn't tell you. I've definitely got some friends that like maybe acquaintances that I don't have as deep conversations as I do that with my homeboy that lives across the ocean. Just kind of all depends. There's layers to this.
I like introducing people. Like, I know we already touched on this, but I love watching, like, from the back, just watching like a friendship bloom. You're just kind of like, I love it.
Let's that's a good topic for this. How do you make a friend? Like, because that'll inform us like what an actual friend is, right? So like, how do you move a person from a dude you met or a person you met into being a friend, if that's someone that you wanted to be friends with? What is y'all's method for doing so?
I have no idea. I'm gonna be completely honest. I haven't made a new friend since like college. Like pretty much once college was over, I was done making just rando friends. You know what I'm saying? And now all the people that I meet that I hang out with are all my old friends, or occasionally, me and a coworker click to an extent where we're willing to like go out and get drinks, and maybe that person becomes like more of a friend. But beyond that, I don't know. I don't know how people just make friends with people like outside of places that you have to go. Like I have to go to school. I have to go to work. I don't know. Like I'm not a regular at a bar like Doughy is to be.
Come over my way. I could introduce you to a lot of people.
I think
the power of the drink,
even without
underestimated. Well, I mean, yeah, but it's like the one dividing line. That after you're like 25 out of college, you're like, how am I gonna meet friends? And you're like, the bar. Yeah, you become I met so many people, and I was having a really hard time meeting people. Once I started going to this bar, met a great cast, a variety of unwanted people that I have as friends and friends that I actually want.
So walk me through this. First day, you go. Let's say like you're not a regular at this bar yet, right? You just show up to the bar one day,
Nervous.
nervous.
Ooh.
You're not gonna just become friends with the regulars that are there that day, right?
I mean, it all depends on what your outward friendliness rating is. If you're able to like spark a conversation over what's going on the TV, or maybe the bartender and someone else is talking about something and you like interject with some like clever line or something like that, you could either be annoying or you could be making friends. Either
But
way,
I'm talking about you, like
I-
like you
I
met
want-
these people on your first day.
for
I
me,
want to-
no.
I want to hear this clever line that Doughy has, because I know the TV that Doughy watches at bars is Chive TV.
Chive.
And that's all that he like wants to watch at the bar. I took him to a bar in Austin, and his first question for the bartender is if she had a way she could put Chive TV on the TV instead of the baseball game or whatever they had played.
Yeah.
Do you have Chive TV at your bar?
No.
Oh man. Oh, sad.
No Chive TV in New York, unfortunately. This is a down south thing. You know what's crazy? Twin Peaks has their own Chive TV, but it's just Twin Peaks TV, which is even cooler.
Is it?
Wow. Yeah, for the people that are unaware, Chive TV is a very strange. I think it's like an internet channel or something, and it's like people just doing amazing things, like jet skiing or jumping over this gap. But there's also a good mix of like fails. So people try to jump and they fall apart.
It's like ridiculousness with no host and all these different subject matters.
That's true. There's no host. There's not some, hey, watch how this guy goes on. No, there's none of that bullshit. It's just, there's a scene of this guy on a jet ski. He tries to make it over some jump. He doesn't make it. And then it instantly changes to some guy biking downhill. Then it changes to some dad fiddling with like a tool. And it's just a bunch of random videos like that. But
I love it.
For some reason, when it's on and you're drinking, eating some wings, it'd be us the whole time at the bar, just like, it's all you can fucking look at.
I call TikTok ADHD the app. Chive TV is ADHD the TV show.
Yeah, for sure. It's like G4 TV back in the day. I love that. I love that TV show. That's amazing. But like all the shows on there, Attack of the Show, everything on G4 TV, which they actually revamped on YouTube right now, which is nice.
So
So
you go to the bar the first time and you just have a line and you start talking to these random people. You breaking the ice after your line, and then they're just like, all right, let's invite you to our chats, or like, how do you? Because I know you're always kept to yourself most of the time. So
yes, so like in the beginning, yeah, that's what it would be. Just me, just chilling there, drinking, and then you start to realize like the bar that I go to is 1 block away, so it's very hard to be like, let me stop by for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, have a drink or two, and then get home. You know what I mean? And so I started to do that. You start to learn the people that are there. You start to learn the bartenders. For me, I got familiar with the bartenders, and then bartenders introduced me to people, and then things went along like that.
yeah, because it's go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it's interesting because how, like, going back to Pucho's question, like, how do you go from somebody you met to friends? And I think it's once you hang out of where you met them. Like, if you're like, I think once somebody invites you to their house, now they're opening the door of vulnerability, right? Because you're inviting somebody to your house and you still don't really know him too well, but you're trusting him enough to act right and handle shit appropriately and be around his family and friends. So I think once you do that, like, for example, I met these group of guys through my buddy John. Obviously, you guys know John. Shout out to John. I met a whole bunch of them, right? And they all play sports, adult leagues, flag football. We do kickball now or whatever. And mostly all of them are fucking very outspoken and jokative and shit talkers, which is almost in my realm of world where I reside in.
You thrive in that realm.
I try not to. So, yeah, he like this guy Ebo, which his name is Eric, whatever. He
Ebo
invites
Squeezy.
John invites me to his house without even notifying him that I'm coming to his house. Right? I met this guy one time playing basketball.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yo, just call him, let him know I'm coming. I was raised differently. You tell people that you're bringing somebody over to their house. Bro, you're with me, you're good. This is his line. You're good, trust me. Just tell him. Whatever, he texts him or whatever. We show up. I show up. He sends me the address. I show up. And John's supposed to be there. The motherfucker's not there. He said, yo, just walk in through the door. I'm like, bro, I met this guy one time. There's 30 people out in front of his house, and they're all Hispanics. They're Mexicans and shit. They're going to look at me like, who the fuck is this guy? Just go. All right, whatever. I go to the door, and I have like a bottle of Hennessy on me. And they all say, oh, what's up, man? What up, man? I'm like, oh, what's up? I'm like, all right. The door opens up. Some little girl opens it. Comes to find out it's his daughter. I walk in. Ebo comes around the corner. Yo, da, 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 da. I'm like, yo, what's up, Ebo? John told me to come through. No, you good. That's your bottle of Hennessy. All right, you drinking that shit. Da, 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 da. I'm like, I brought it for y'all, to drink, whatever. All right, cool. I sit there and it's awkward, right? Because I don't really know nobody. And this man, Ebo, just kicked like 30 niggas out of the living room so I can sit down and we can have like a game night. He's like, yo, y'all get the fuck up. Get outside, this and that. Yo, you can sit right here. Where he just kicked somebody off of the couch. I feel like a dick now. It's just so awkward, but he's being really fucking extra nice and shit. Like, kicking niggas out that are his friends or family member, whoever the fuck. And whatever. So I sat down, chill. John comes in. I'm like, yo, you're a dick. I don't know this guy, but he cool enough to kick people off his couch for me to sit down and we're all drinking and chilling and having games. And then at that moment, that's where you break the acquaintances to like, okay, now you're like a friend. Even though you was a friend of a friend, now you're a friend. So then now you start, that's where you break a friend. Like if I bring someone to Pucho's house and Pucho don't know him, I'm more likely not going to do that. I'm going to talk to Pucho and see what's going on to check the scenery. And if it's cool, it's cool. Then they'll link up and they'll be cool. And then if Pucho feels like he's cool enough to meet up again and go to a bar later on all together, then that's how friendship builds up at that point.
It's weird how your friends vet somebody. Like,
you need that sign off.
Yeah, you do.
Need that sign off from other friends for sure.
You have to have the sign off because you just can't, you know what I mean? Like if I bring somebody to Mateo's like, yo, I don't really, the vibes. I'm like, all right, cool. I won't bring the vibes again unless we go to a bar and then be like, yo, he's going to be there. And then, you could catch a drift again and see if y'all vibe out good. But other than that, I separate work friends, and then people I'll call like my brothers. And you know what I mean? There's a difference between all that.
Is that the distinction that you want to dig into though? Those people, like what makes you call someone your brother? Like what is that distinction from friends?
There's a like Pucho, I definitely call him one of my brothers. My cousin Juanito, who y'all know, and his cousins, his actual cousins, these are people I consider my brother. Even Doughboy is considered a brother of mine. I was waiting a little bit, Doughboy, because I wanted that energy, that emotional face of yours to kind of build up. Like, you better say my name. But
you know what's fucking weird? You know what's fucking weird is that like there are people that I consider like they're like at that brotherhood level, but they're still like. It's not like, for example, someone I consider yo, that person's like a brother, and another person that's at that same level. I don't even bring those people around each other still. Like that shit is like Tony's saying. Tony's saying he considers me a brother. He considers his cousin Juanito. I don't know this guy at all, but right, somehow we're all brothers, right? Like I think there's still like a weirdness in mixing worlds.
No,
yeah. I don't know when it becomes easy to just mix it. Like,
remember when I tried to introduce y'all to Mookie? That was a clash of the worlds.
Was it?
It was for him, for Mookie. He never met people like that before. Like he's like Pucho.
Okay,
I thought there was more.
That was the end of it. I didn't know. Yeah, no, Mookie was cool. I never had a problem with Mookie. My only issue was I'd be chilling, vibing at those crib, having a good time. As soon as Mookie came through, Doughy would be like, that's it. We need to play trap music at maximum volume for the next 4 hours straight. I'd be like, nah, I can't take this. So after a little bit, I'd be like, yo, I love you guys. Yeah, I gotta go. Like, yo, my mom's cooking. I gotta break. Like, you know, I don't want nobody to feel bad. Like I'm just dipping because they're around. Like that's definitely not.
Yeah, that's
like, this wasn't the case. It was just that vibe wasn't for me. You know what I'm saying? And to me, that's an example of you're mixing two worlds. Like there's a bunch of other friends of yours that would totally thrive in that vibe. And it ain't for me. So it's like, all right, if this is what the scenery is gonna be like for a little while, it don't got nothing to do with any about the people there. It's just I don't know. I'm gonna break. Like I was never like a smoker. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of my friends growing up were smokers, right? I don't got a problem with them. Like, you know, they smoke, that's cool. But then there comes a moment where there's so many smokers in the room that the room is just hotboxed. It's just a cloud. And it's like, okay, that's a level too far. Like, I'm getting high in this room now. I need to just break. Like, this ain't my scene. You know what I'm saying? So I think there's levels like that you know, even if they're your brother or this or that, it's like they still don't mix with every crowd, you know?
Yeah. But still though, like for the most part, most of the people I hang out with are almost some ways similar in some aspects. Some are a lot louder than others. Some are a lot more forward. But for the most part, like if I have an event or a party and I invite everybody's kind of blending in. Everybody's a little bit segregated at the party sometimes, but it kind of still bridges the gap. Everybody still be like, oh, what's up? Or people are more able to reach out, I guess, like my friends. Like they're not going to be closed off. They'll actually come up and try to talk to you, whether they know you for a little bit or don't know you. It's just how that goes. But yeah, I think there is a line of people, like there's, brothers, there's close friends, and then coworkers.
I think a good rule of thumb is, that question that everyone answers the same way with 90% of the people they know. You ask someone how they're doing. How you doing? And the answer is supposed to be, I'm doing fine, or some variation of that. How are you doing? That's supposed to be the answer to that question. There is a right answer to that question. That's what the right answer to that question is. Your friend, your true friend, you can actually answer that question honestly.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. I get it.
But you run into someone on the street, you're talking to your bartender at your bar, you're talking to your boss, and they ask, how you doing? The answer is, I'm all right. How are you doing? It's like, I'm good.
Depending on how close you are with your bartender, bartenders can become therapists very quickly.
I don't know. I think I can answer that question the same almost with everybody. Like even some rando at a bar. Like if he tells me, yo, how you doing, bro? What's going on? I'm be like, man, I'm looking at this Cowboys game. It's not looking too good, but how are you straight, bro? I'm just vibing. I can talk to people like that.
I feel like that's the conversational equivalent of I'm fine though. You're not going to be like, oh man, me and my wife were having problems. My kid is driving me crazy.
No, yeah, it depends. It's like, you can. That's like an icebreaker too, though, right? Because he asked me that question. It's like, all right, you're inviting my problems now, so let me break it down to you. My fucking son doesn't let me sleep, and then he'll be like, yo, me too. Shots, bet. Now we're drinking buddies. We're bar buddies. That's a whole different friendship too, by the way.
That is a different category.
Yeah. Tony's like, that's another thing that I it's always bugged me about having friends, because I'm a weirdo, right? Like while I'm hanging out and out and about and stuff like that, I could appear to be like a social butterfly. Like I talk to people, I'm trying to have a good time, like stuff like that. Really, that's not my real personality. I'm like a little closed off. I like to just be in my comfort zones. You know what I'm saying? And I always find it weird. Like for me to consider someone a friend, it takes like a while. Like it takes like a number of times that I see a person, hang out with them, break bread with them, and then I'm like, all right, cool. This person is now an acquaintance, like after some period of time. And when I see them, we'll be cordial and all of that. But like, I'm probably still not going to hit them up to hang out separately. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always weird for me with my other friends that they don't have like a high standard like that. Like Tony said he met a guy one time, and then when he went to his house, he cleared the couch so he could sit. Now we're friends. I'm like, holy shit, we're not. Like me, I'm like, no way. Like, no way, Jose. Like we played basketball once and I sat in a chair. Like, I'm like, we ain't that cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's always
it's the levels for you. Like friends for me is like acquaintance for you, I guess. And then that's why there's like homeboys or it's just levels. Like I'm pretty good at gauging people's vibes. Like if I feel like if I feel like I can't leave money around you, you're not my friend. I mean, I don't know. I don't think I can.
Would you leave money around the guy you played basketball one time with, and then he sat you on his couch?
No, I'm saying like with your close friends. Like
I'm using now close friend.
Yeah. I'm saying like there's
you
levels.
He was your friend, and then now you're saying if you could leave money around a person, they're a friend. Yeah, I don't leave money around almost nobody.
I don't need it. Neither do I. I don't want to, but I'm just saying like when it comes to it, like I wouldn't mind like a close friend of mine's like. It's just levels. That's it. That's all I'm saying. There's levels.
You know how weird I am? I'd be having anxiety, right? Every now and again, I'll have someone around that isn't typically around, and maybe they invite a person. And in my mind, this isn't a good situation anymore. Like, I'm like, hold on. Like, I didn't account for some randos or people that I don't really know being around. And then when they leave, I just have this thing in the back of my head.
So look,
is anything missing? Like I gotta like look around my house real quick. Yeah, I'm just not. I swear to God, I'm not used to certain people being around. And like when there's a face around that's not vetted to me, like typically they wouldn't be here, but they're here because of somebody else. And it's like, you're trying to be a good host, so you're not gonna tell somebody like, nah, don't like they're like, oh, could I invite my cousin over? And you're like, yeah. Sometimes I tell them, I'll be like, nah, like that ain't the vibe, yo.
You kind of fucked up now, Pooch, by telling me this. Because now when some new one comes around, I'm just gonna just grab something and hide it for a little bit and just fuck with you and be like, yo, where's this at? You're gonna be like,
that's terrible.
I wouldn't do that shit.
Those are true friends.
That's terrible.
These are true friends.
Make me want to kill that person because I'd be like, I know that was that person. Now I don't trust you. You've just went down a couple pegs. No longer a brother.
That shit's quick. You see that, boys? Yeah. That's how quick it is.
I hope that no one ever goes over to Tony's house and finds that Ouija board that I left there and takes that.
Exactly.
That would be a real shame.
I don't even think you came in my house.
I definitely went to your house. I met your mother-in-law.
Yeah, if you put that shit in my fucking house, Mateo, I swear to you.
I'm surprised you haven't found it yet, dude.
Whatever.
Fucking asshole. I also, all right, so the way Pucho behaves, he also attracts a type of person too. I've never seen someone gain such a bop for fucking Sweet Caroline since when I was at the bar with Pucho. Pucho ignited the bar. They saw Pucho.
His voice.
Yeah. He ignited the bar. Everyone saw Pucho start to go crazy. Bop. Yo, the whole bar started bop, bop.
That's Pucho's alternate ego. That's when Pucho has a couple drinks and he's a social Pucho. That's when he wants to meet friends.
Nah, none of those people are going to be my friends. I like to have a good time. It's different. That's what I'm saying. I could appear to be a social butterfly. Like I want to have a good time. Meeting people, chatting, all that stuff makes for a good time. But I ain't going to go back and be like, yep, that's my friend now. Let's exchange numbers. We're going to hang out. Like, nah, we just sang a song at a bar. And maybe we do that a couple more times. I'll greet you when we bump into each other, but I ain't going to call you my friend. Like, that's like, that's a level. I don't know.
No, you're absolutely right.
But nah, for sure. People could definitely go up in the social hierarchy. Like a perfect example, not even trying to shit on nobody because like I said, Doughy was an acquaintance first, but like Zeus, right? Zeus was Doughy's friend. Really Doughy's family, right? Through like marriage and shit like that, right? Mm-hmm. For him, I didn't know that guy at all. And now over the years and talking to him, hanging out with him, I consider him a close friend, right? But that's someone who went from zero to where he is now just off the strength of interactions. You know what I'm saying? And that, and that's different than I don't know. Some people, like you said, Mateo, some people feel like if we're not fast friends, that we'll never really be friends, And that's not the type of, there are a few people in my life that we met and we clicked and we've been friends right off the bat, but that's rare. I'm a slow, we gotta build up to me being comfortable enough to be like, I like this guy. Like I want him around. You know what I mean?
I might be slightly judgmental, but I tend to trust my gut instinct, and that at least tells me if someone is going to be stuck just as an acquaintance, or if I'm going to actually make an effort to move them into another category or something.
No,
It doesn't mean they're instantly friends, but it means that like I see like, okay, this person I might just bond with pretty well. It's a shame our host is missing. I think it's about time that we swap topics, although we probably need to just come back to this one at some point. I think there's a lot of meat left here.
Yeah. So
It's good.